Coming to today's topic, which is a very beautiful, very simple sounding topic, isn't it, friends? That is, why are we here? Isn't it? What is the purpose of life? Or, what is the very basic meaning of our existence on the planet? Why are we here? And I'll begin, friends, with a story because stories really help us expand and tell the essence of the message we are trying to convey. And this is a story of Narada. We've heard of many stories of Narada and Vishnu. This is one of such stories where Narada, realized sage who roamed the earth and the heavenly realms alike, he was once on the earthly plains. And he was just moving, street to street. He was going and just looking at the people as to what they are doing. And what did he observe? He observed that people were by and large suffering. They were not happy. There was pain and suffering everywhere. And he wondered, why is it like that? So he goes back to the heaven and he goes and asks Lord Vishnu, Lord, you are the ocean of love, joy, peace. Then why your children on earth are suffering? Why is there so much pain? And Lord Vishnu said, you go back to earth and you do a survey. We do surveys, isn't it? We just try to find out what is happening. And he said, you go and ask people that if there is one desire you have, what would you like that to be? What is your heart's desiring at the moment? And you want the Lord, to fulfill it. So wonderful. Narada goes back to earth, and the first, people he sees is a couple, a young couple, and he asks them that, what are you desiring, friends? Lord will fulfill this wish or your desire today. And both of them, almost in chorus, said, we want to have a baby. And also, yes, we want a home for our growing family. Very well. And Narada, of course, was a little wondering that why did they ask for that? And he moved on and he asked many people. And he was disillusioned. He comes back to the heavens and he speaks to Lord Vishnu. Lord Vishnu is actually waiting and he's very enthusiastic. He asks Narada, Narada, did anyone ask for me? Did anyone ask for my love? Did anyone ask to enjoy my peace, my wisdom? Narada quietly said, no, Lord. No one said that. Then Lord Vishnu said, then if no one wants me, why do I come to them? Why do I give them something that they don't want? Why do I give them something that I don't want? Friends, we have to be desiring the love of God. We have to open our hearts and receive His love as His children do. Now, that is the reason why Jesus also said, seek ye first the kingdom of God, and rest, everything shall be added unto thee. He never said something will be added, everything will be added unto you. Seek ye first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and everything will be added unto you. And so did Paramhansa Yogananda ji said that the purpose of life is to be free from all suffering. It is to be free from all physical, mental, spiritual suffering, and to attain the everlasting bliss of God, Sat Chitananda, ever conscious, ever existing, ever new bliss of God. And he summarized, the topic of today in just this one line, that this is the purpose of life. It is to find God, Sat Chitananda, and feel his presence. But the trouble is that we live in this world of duality. We live where happiness and sorrow, all these life's ups and downs, disease and death, all these kinds of ups and downs, the dualities of life make us believe that God is not there. And this is what life is all about. Now, to surmount Maya, that was a task assigned to the human race, to surmount Maya, to be able to overcome this duality, to overcome the ups and downs of life, and know that there is a hidden reality in our soul. And that is the source of inexhaustible joy. That is the source that we must get in this lifetime. However, most people are unaware about this. Now, this is the saddest part, that people do not know the purpose of their lives and why they are here, why they have come. So, as we know, that as a child is born, he grows up. And of course, as he grows, he comes more and more, into this um, the laws of duality kind of engulf him. And this is a very mundane life that we all live, friends. Life and death, the cycle goes on and on, reincarnations. And most people even doubt the presence of God and that finding God could be the purpose of our lives. We can do a survey just like Narada did. We can actually find out as to what do people want? What are they looking for? What are they desiring? And also see that what is their purpose of life. And you will realize, friends, that hardly people will say that we want to realize God, because they do not believe in it, that this could be the purpose of their lives. But yes, there is one thing that they will all agree, and that is we want happiness. Our purpose of life is to find happiness. Now, Yogananda ji said that God is happiness. God is equal to happiness. And that is the eternal joy we are all seeking. So even if people don't know what they are desiring, what is their purpose of life, why they are here, but they know they are all searching. We are all searching on this planet for happiness. Yogananda ji said that education and entertainment, now these are the two important, you know, things that we must, enjoy in this world. Education for our souls to learn the lessons that it has not learned in the previous incarnations. And entertainment. How? Because in every life situation, we must be with it. It's like, to be in the world, but not of it, and enjoy every moment. And why we are not able to enjoy our life's moments is because of our attachments and the unnecessary expectations. And when they are not fulfilled, it leads to a lot of pain and suffering. We are not able to enjoy life, isn't it? So, in this process, we remain, our desire remains unfulfilled. And Yogananda ji said that here it is, on earth that we will experience God's cosmic show. But we have to realize that it is all for our soul's learning and entertainment. So the words of the Guru are, do not get mixed up with this cosmic drama. He has said this, that do not get mixed up, do not be attached, and evolve. It is all a process of our soul's evolution that we are here on the planet. It's our life's journey which is helping us evolve spiritually. Now, our spiritual journey actually begins when we realize, that is the first step, when we realize that our happiness is not dependent on any external conditions. Friends, once we realize that, just think of it. If we are able to realize this, that nothing of this outer world, because outer world is all, governed by the law of duality. It's all Maya, it's illusion. And into the various delusive consciousness that we engage ourselves into because of sense gratification, You know, we are not able to enjoy God's presence. So once we realize that external, whatever happening, conditions, whatever environment we are in, it will not bring us the eternal joy of God. That is the first step. And what will give us happiness is the inexhaustible source of the divine within us. This is the first step. And once we realize, friends, that God is within us, not in any external conditions, environmental factors, or the pleasures of this world, and we begin a search. At that point, we begin a search. That is the second step, which is our quest. Our quest begins, our search begins to find Him. Who are you? Where are you? Within me. And then what happens is that in this search, we are we are looking for knowledge. We have many questions. As a beginner on the path, even I had these questions when I began to realize, oh yes, when God is within me, then this, lot of questions, come about, in your learning. You are gaining knowledge, and that knowledge slowly becomes your wisdom. Interestingly, every saint had a yearning to know the purpose of life. That quest was there, that desire to know God was there. And this very beautiful quote of Jesus when he said, ask and it shall be given to you, seek and ye shall find, knock and it shall be opened unto you. For everyone that asks receives, and he that seeks finds, and to him that knocks it shall be opened. Only if you make the effort. Only if you make the effort to search Him, find Him. Now, in our conscious quest to find unending happiness, the energetic yearning of our heart is, friends, the soul's call, our soul's call. Because our heart is yearning now, in our quest to find God. When our heart begins to yearn, long for God, that is the turning point of our life. And why? Because our soul's call is heard by a true, self realized master. That is the entry point for our guru to come in our lives. And there are many stories. Each one of us, friends, have a story here on the Kriya path. When did it happen? When did guru enter my life? And when he enters, he changes us. So it is our heart's calling, our soul calling him, longing for him. And the guru, when comes into our lives, we begin to follow Sanatan Dharma, the eternal religion, and we begin to practice his teachings and the techniques. Yogananda ji has said that there are 4 types of spiritual seekers, and those are, first category seekers are those who are not serious. They come on the path, but they're not serious, so they leave. The second category are the curiosity seekers. They want to know, they're curious, but they are also doing window shopping. They're also doing spiritual shopping, like, going to other paths, different other paths. And they do not stick to any single path. So they are curiosity seekers. Third are the superficial seekers. They are looking at, grabbing knowledge from all the sources, but they do not make enough effort to apply the teachings in their real life. They don't do that. And the real truth seekers is the 4th category to which all of us must belong. The real truth seekers, they practice the teachings, the techniques given by a true guru, and slowly they are moving closer to the light. They are moving closer to have a direct personal experience of God. And that comes with the grace of the guru. And finally, I would also like to say that a real truth seeker is an inner renunciant, friends. Many of us are householders, and some of us are also monastics. But a real truth seeker is one who's a renunciant by heart. Whatever you may be doing in your life, if you're a householder, you have so many, a million chores, of your household. And also, if you are doing some professional job, you have to go to your office, you have to, meet different people. But inwardly, if you are a renunciate, you're not letting your energy dissipate into the world and getting attached to things, having expectations from people. Your energy is in the spine. That is an inner renunciate. And it is not just during the times of meditation, but all the time, 24/7. All the time, your energy is in the spine. You're calm, contented. And that is when the joy comes. That is when divine wisdom begins to shine, and one knows how to act in the world, how to behave, what should be your attitudes. It becomes all intuition guided, friends, because then you live a life filled with all intuitive guidance that comes from the Guru's grace. Now, also, there is what is told to us, of course, on the path, we know this, that there are very few real truth seekers. And Krishna says that out of thousand who seek me, one out of thousand who are trying to find me, one seeks me. And out of those thousand who seek me, only one know me truly. Now, spiritual living is very important, and that is the reason, friends, we lay so much of importance on, following our yamas and niyamas, along with practicing a daily sadhana as given by the Guru. Practicing our yamas and niyamas, these are the um, uh, how to conduct in life. These are the ways, these are the practices or the principles, the moral principles of, living a spiritual life, righteous conduct. Patience and perseverance are very important factors here. Sometimes results do not come. You have to do your sadhana. We have to practice our yamas and niyamas, and slowly, with patience and perseverance, doing it again and again, day after day, month after month, year after year, God and gurus listen, and they give us, the answers that we are searching for. And that is when we begin to live an intuition guided life. And Jesus said that light shineth, and the light shineth in darkness, and the darkness comprehended it not. The thing is that the darkness of our minds, sometimes, and many of the times actually, it cannot comprehend the light within us. It cannot. And we feel, oh, what's happening in my life? I'm not getting the results, and so on and so forth. But we must come back again and again to Jesus calling when he said that the light shineth in darkness, and the darkness comprehended it not. And I will end this by quoting Master Paramhansa Yogananda ji, who said, explore the darkness behind your closed eyes. Explore the darkness behind your closed eyes. Vast lights and cosmic forces are moving there. Just imagine the powerful space statement from our Guru. Vast lights and cosmic forces are moving there. And let us be, steadfast on this path and try to find the true meaning of our life, which is to find Satchit Ananda. That's something else our, all of us are trying to find, who bestows unending happiness. That's something else, which is God's divine joy and wisdom. And I'll end with this, and I request Vibhaji now to please further on this topic.
So, friends, again, the topic is why are we here? There's a story shared by Swami Kriyanand, the founder of Ananda Sangha, and this is a story about Mahatma Gandhi. Gandhiji went for the law studies to Britain, and then he used his skills in South Africa. Eventually, he moved back to India to become a spiritual and a moral leader. and led a non-violent revolution that gave India her freedom in 1947. Here is the point. Gandhiji could have practiced as a lawyer and made more money, lived more in comfort, had lots of goodies of the world with him. But he expanded his vision, he expanded his consciousness, he came to India to free her and support the right cause of freedom struggle. All of us have this choice. God has been kind, we live comfortably. But what next? The question, why are we here, gets answered in the sentence, we are here to expand our consciousness. We are not here to exist, to live, to eat, and have a cozy home. We are here to expand our consciousness. We discover in life that certain ways of living bring us greater happiness. Living in harmony and in conformance to cosmic laws brings happiness and peace. Throughout the life, we keep experimenting on subtle levels what causes suffering, what causes happiness. Or we just continue to live life, exist in life without thinking. Spiritual progress happens on everyday basis, every day. The sum total of the actions and the thoughts that we have done that day. How many good, how many not so good. The sum total is more of the good part we have evolved that day. And that is what the life is about. Checking out every moment, every day, am I doing the right things? Am I living my life with the conformance of the cosmic law? Cosmic law has an inner voice which tells us to do a particular thing or not to do it. Are we listening to that? We have a subconscious mind which keeps telling us, I'm comfortable with everything that we have done, everything that I'm familiar with this. I'm fine. I don't want anything new. But we have a subconscious mind. Subconscious mind tells us to move to higher, greater expansion. The subconscious mind reminds us we have to break old habits, adventures, change habits. We have both of these dimensions within us all the time. The subconscious stays within the comfort zone in the contractive consciousness, and the superconscious mind reminding us to break away and change, bring a change, evolve. The conscious mind is the battlefield which has to make the decision to stay with the familiar past or put more energy for future to change. All of us sitting here have this question. All of us sitting here decided to come to this session, learn something, change our inner energies and evolve. We could have, on a Sunday morning, sat at home, had a cup of coffee and stayed in the comfort zone. But we decided to listen to the superconscious mind. Friends, process of progression can be delayed, but not forever. The cosmic journey, the cosmic laws finally will propel us, saying advance. We have to advance. It will push us. We today, sitting in the class, can take a call. Do I want to delay? Or no, from right this moment, I want to evolve. And I know you want to. That's why you are sitting in this session of Cheena ji and myself. Eventually, we all have to evolve and return back home from where we came. We will not be able to hold it forever. We can only delay it. We are continuously performing karma, consciously or unconsciously, but it will continue. Karma is the energy that we put out in motion. Karma is the process of learning lessons unlearned. The things which we need to improve upon, those circumstances, those people are brought into our lives to learn those lessons. Challenging situations and people don't come without any purpose. There is a purpose for us to learn something in that challenging situation. And until we have learned that lesson, those situations, those kinds of people will keep appearing in our lives. Karma is lessons unlearned, and we have to learn those lessons. Our tests, our unlearned karmic lessons lie between the contraction and the expansion of our consciousness, between low energy and between high energy. Whether we want to be in the comfort zone or we want to move with courage to the future, which we don't understand yet, unknown future. A future that we want to have, but we don't know what kind of efforts will be required to attain that future. It's between these two things, comfort zone or evolve, move towards the future. Conscious mind sitting here is making that decision. Stay here, cup of tea, or come to the meditation center and session and meditate. Where do we want to be? That's the decision we want to take. The reason why we are born is to be able to gradually remove and see the veil of delusion that makes us think that the outer world is the real world, and this makes us unaware of the inner world of evolution. What causes suffering? What brings happiness? We have to keep thinking, we have to keep analyzing that all the time. The reason why we do it, that is, the more we are enmeshed in the delusion, the more we are vulnerable to the suffering, and closer we are to the enlightenment, our lives are more joyful. The reason of suffering is that we are not cooperating with the cosmic laws. We are not listening to our inner voice. We learn some certain things from the things that we have acquired, but we learn more from the things that we have acquired than the things that we did not acquire. Here is the explanation. Why do we learn more from the things that we have acquired? Because for a long time we have been wanting those things. Maybe many incarnations that we have been wanting those things, and finally that thing comes to us. We just learn, we get to find out how much joy that thing has given, for which we have spent a lot of time, lot of efforts, maybe lot of wealth. And we get to know how much joy this car or this new house or whatever we wanted is giving us. And then we learn slowly after some time there is more. There's more to look for. The things that we receive, the things we learn more, we learn certain amount for having our desires thwarted, but we learn more from having our desires fulfilled. Give it a thought. Give it a thought to think that something that you have been wanting for a long time, did you ultimately get what you wanted? It's like a story that working on ourselves is like chipping the extraneous stones in a statue till the image that is hidden in that stone is revealed in all its perfection. A sculptor made a beautiful elephant, and he was asked that, how did you do it? How did you make such a beautiful elephant sculpture? He gave a very simple answer. He said, well, I cut away all that did not look like an elephant. And that is all we all need to do. These things that are not ourselves, we need to chip away gradually. Things, attitudes that are not in harmony with the cosmic laws, we need to chip away. So that ultimately all that remains is pure image of divine within us. To see the subtle realities, understand the depths of the cosmic laws, we have to be sensitive, subtle ourselves. And that subtlety comes when we practice meditation, we practice right attitudes, and when we look for the company of the people with such attitudes. Or we come to the satsangs and classes where these things are discussed. When we consciously want to make that effort, we think that we can make our own decisions by our own free will. But there are certain forces around us, within us. There are possibly forces which are in focus, which are already there before we decide to do something, trying to stop the things that we want to do, because there is global karma, there is mass karma, there is group karma, which is affecting our free will. We cannot make any decisions only by practicing and making use of our free will. I want to take you to the very important point that I wanted to share with you today is what are the different levels of evolution of the consciousness? What is the evolution of consciousness entail? What is it? We will find that evolution of the ego or of the consciousness progression is very subtle and it is very slow. It takes many, many lifetimes to evolve our consciousness, to overcome our habits. It is not easy. So, the level of evolution of consciousness that we are is by making a constant effort. Let me begin with the very first level of the consciousness. I'm talking about level of consciousness which relates to, in a way, that we as kids learnt about the different caste system. When the soul first enters this physical body, we take 8 to 10 million incarnations before we become human beings with free will and discrimination. The very first incarnation is of the level of a Shudra's phase. What is the Shudra consciousness? What does it entail? The Shudra consciousness relates to the people who are interested only in satisfying their physical needs for food, shelter, and sex. There is no possibility of the Shudra consciousness to relate meaningfully with the others. They're just happy within themselves. Traces of give and take are impossible. They like to keep everything for themselves, they never like to share things. These are the qualities which each one of us will have. Don't think I've become a Brahmin or a higher person. Everybody has these Shudra qualities. Think about them. There is a possibility of Shudras' consciousness to relate meaningfully with the others. They don't want to. Traces of give and take are impossible. We can see the traces of Shudra mentality even in those who have become very, very successful people. We have seen people with immense amount of wealth, intelligence, everything, all comforts of life. But many of them will still have the Shudra mentality, oh, it is for me alone to enjoy. That's the certain percentage of Shudra mentality. As they experience the consequence of their selfish attitudes and actions, they become tired of loneliness and isolation, and that is when the attitudes start changing. They begin to desire for meaningful relationships, and Shudras rarely create a family because the life is just about themselves. The second level of the consciousness, from the Shudra, we grow to the Vaishya's consciousness. What is Vaishya's consciousness? It's the relationships are based on an attitude of reciprocity. I will scratch your back if you scratch mine. Vaishyas value their relationship with the others for what they can get from them in the form of money, prestige, power, fame, position, any of these things. At this stage, pure selfless friendship is rare. For wealth, position, they can betray their friends. Vaishya's ego consciousness gradually broadens its self identity to include a life partner and children. Shudra is happy himself. The Vaishya's consciousness wants to have a partner and children slowly, but they are still about what's in it for me. With passing incarnations, Vaishya is drawn to enlarge its definition of family beyond its original narrow identification with us four and no more. With advancement of their consciousness broadens, I win, you lose. Vaishya consciousness is I win, you lose. I make more money. I don't care whether you make your money or not. I can take your money too. But Shudra, Vaishya is higher than Shudra because the Shudra does nothing. So we have to think which category I belong to. Think ourselves. The third level of the consciousness is where the selfless friendship, unconditional love are able to blossom fully. The consciousness is capable of finding satisfaction in helping others and is motivated by giving pure joy and sacrificing his own comfort for the well-being of the others. The Kshatriya consciousness mentality is respectful and compassionate when interacting with the Vaishyas and Shudras. They influence others by the example of their own actions and the expression of their unconditional love. This is the third level of consciousness. The fourth level is called the Brahmins. As the Kshatriyas' consciousness evolves to the stage of Brahmins, they become less personal, more oriented towards loving relationship with God who brings all joys and everything to us. It is at the stage of Brahman consciousness that we find that human love finds its perfection of unconditional love. The important point here is, friends, that all of us are mix of all these four levels of consciousness. We have Shudra within us, we have Kshatriya, we have uh, Vaishya within us, and we have Brahmin. But the important is, where are we at this point of our phase of life? Are we? We just have to analyze for ourselves. We don't have to tell others. Are we more Brahmin? What percentage of Brahmin in me is in me? Is it 20%? Am I 40% Kshatriya? Am I 20% Shudra? What is my percentage? And that percentage in the daytime keeps changing upon what our thoughts are, what our actions are. When we are shouting at people for our own gain, remember at that moment our consciousness is Shudra Prime. Our mix keeps changing every day, every hour. We need to see that our total mix for the larger time, for the larger quantum of time, where are we? And then from that analysis of our own selves, we need to see that how can I increase the time proportion where I am more Brahmin, I am more Kshatriya, and I am less Shudra, and I am less Vaishya. And that's what it is consciousness evolution about. Don't think that I'm only Kshatriya, or don't think I'm only Brahmin. Most of us are. The people sitting in the session here have larger consciousness of Kshatriya, but we still have Shudra, we still have Vaishya within us. The challenge, the point, why are we here is to decrease Shudra, to decrease Vaishya, and to increase Kshatriya and Brahman within us. We are a mix of all four. It is when the mix is 100% Brahman that we are very much there at the point of enlightenment. So I want to leave you with these thoughts that why are we here and what do we need to do? So friends, let us close our session today with the healing prayer. Visualize all those who need healing. Divine Mother, Thou art omnipresent, Thou art in all Thy children. Manifest Thy healing presence in all bodies, all minds, and all souls. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Go with Master's blessings. Joy be with you.